Hi, everybody. So this is going to be either part one or part two, depending on how the wind blows, depending on how I feel like releasing these from my time at Blended Festival. So Cancel Me Baby was there and we were popping, like brought the party to the place. Do you know what I mean? So I was there on the ground. I had a whole table set up for Cancel Me Baby. And I will say it was the only show set up like that. Very cool in the wine tent. So Blended Festival, a mix of different wines and vendors and performances and like all good stuff going on here in Nashville. And the festival also takes place in different cities. So, you know, we got no time to kill, like hitting this place like a tornado. So this is going to be a little compilation video. My other episode is going to be people, like I said, influencers, artists, people on the ground talking about the culture clash and the divide that is kind of like ripping open right now to see how that all evolves and is unfolding. This one is really going to explore everything real versus fake. Okay. We're going to talk about, you know, women and image and like influencer culture and Instagram versus reality and the mental health aspect of it all. And, you know, how women view themselves and sort of like compete in this space and where men fall into the fold. I have men weighing in on it as well. Like, you know, we get everyone in on this action. So without further ado, real v fake, people, take it away.
What?
There we go. It's gonna be really ass interesting. I just lengthened the stick, so
Cool.
you know, take that how you will. All right, so we are.
Giggity.
Yep, exactly. So we are at Blended Festival, and I am with my little Israeli Egyptian prince. Okay, Matthew Loren. He is like a wine entrepreneur.
Ooh, that's a new word. I've never heard that before.
See that? He really is like, how would you describe it? You really are the executive getting together, the vendors here, the influencers, right? All that good stuff.
Yeah, so I kind of run, I wear many hats here at Blended. I'm the executive director of wine and executive sommelier for the festival, but I'm also the influencer director. So I get to hang out with a bunch of really pretty people that like to promote the festival. So I have a really hard job.
Like really, case in point, maybe. Yes. So no. Although I will say, speaking of wearing many hats, earlier you were wearing a hat, and I'm just gonna throw it out to you people because one of us were able to go and fix their hair before this interview. So I'll give you guys a guess as to who exactly that was.
Listen,
okay.
This is the second time I fixed my hair today. Okay.
Oh.
I woke up 3 hours early just so I could fix my hair, only for it to get rained on and get messy. You saw it. It was embarrassing.
No, it was hot. I liked your black baseball cap.
And then I had to wear a hat, and then I had to go home and
it was a vibe.
get I had to get dolled up again.
Oh, dolled up.
You know, I had to impress you.
Listen.
I knew we were doing this interview.
I mean, I'm sorry it says it's not. I'm impressing you like with my not my hair, but my enthusiasm, okay?
Sure.
Thank you, Matt. What a gentleman. What a gentleman.
Now it's a perfect interview.
Oh, but your left side I thought was the only, yeah, exactly. So, okay, speaking of your hair, I feel like everybody at festivals, like, we are, okay, what, okay, I mean, I know my hair's not that bad,
I'm not paying attention.
He's like, sorry, what, okay.
You're the pro.
So, here we go. Everybody, I feel like at these things, like, we are out here liberated, people are dressing to impress, like, we're looking at people, we want to be seen. And you have an aesthetic. You have a vibe. Like, what does the hair say about you? Because it's very unique.
I'm not gonna comment to that. No, I mean, my hair is my like calling card. You know, it's like who I am. And the funny thing is, I'm gonna share this only with you.
I feel so special.
Only with you.
Thank you, Matt.
I used to get made fun of for my hair because I have this like curly Egyptian Israeli hair, and I grew up little brown boy in Oklahoma, right, with curly hair. So being brown, having curly hair in the middle of the Bible Belt, Oklahoma, doesn't really work out, right?
Is your hair like a fuck you to all of that?
Absolutely.
Because it is, like I said, it's so unique.
Absolutely. I got made fun of for having curly hair, and now look at me.
CB wouldn't, he's like, look at me now. CB wouldn't necessarily know that from looking at you, right?
I mean, besides the fact that I'm brown.
Well, I'm proud of it, sweetie. But when it comes to women, I feel like, and I talk about this, whether it be festival culture, IG culture, there's sort of this vibe where it's like a carbon copy, right? Like all women trying to look the same and getting away from exactly what you're talking about, like individualism and like, right? And it makes me sad as a woman. It's like, you know, why are we all trying to look this, almost like that Kylie Jenner vibe, right?
No, I mean, like, I live in Las Vegas. And
Entertainment capital, yeah.
entertainment capital of the world, plastic surgery capital of the world.
Yes, yes.
One of my best friends is here, and he's like one of the top plastic surgeons in Vegas, right? He's here in Nashville. And God bless him for what he does. But you're right, like everybody's kind of looking like so commercialized and the exact same. And we've lost our like individuality. We've lost our identity. And now we're trying to like fit into this mold of this is what I'm supposed to look like instead of, no, this is who I am and I'm proud of it. And that's kind of, you know, it's taken me a while to get there because we all go through that, men included, right? We all go through like, we have to fit in.
Men? Well, I guess you with the hair story, but even then with their bodies, right? Like men like take care of themselves too.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, like I love this whole like fit culture.
Yeah, ditto.
You know, that's been going around. But, you know, and that we're all kind of taking pride in our bodies and our health. You know, I'm pescatarian, vegetarian, have been for over 10 years. But I love that it's now becoming like this commercialized thing where people are paying attention, right? They're paying attention to their health and who they are. But going back to kind of our original point, like it's kind of sad that over time we've kind of lost who we are, right? And now we're just like, well, I got to look like that person on TV and not who I really am, right?
Do you see
it's
that?
So inauthentic. So inauthentic.
It is. I feel like a festival culture too. I talked to the creator of Blended about this. Like, it brings out, you know, especially this. It's music, it's wine, it's like all pleasures in life, and I feel like it brings out something like tribal in men and women. Even last night, we're listening to Lil Jon, right? And this guy comes up to me. He's like, "You're beautiful. Like, can I say that?" Right? It's like just like that like quintessential man-woman thing.
Yep.
So, like, as an observer, what is, like, the most interesting thing to see these people in their element and just, like, liberated and, like, not caring, right?
The thing I like about festival culture, but specifically Blended, is how Blended is, like, the most perfect name for this festival, right? You have country, you have whiskey, you have beer, you have energy drinks, you have 300 wines in my wine tent. You've got country music, you've got rock, you've got hip-hop. We're not trying to be like any one thing. This isn't a hip-hop festival. This isn't a Coachella. This isn't a this, you know, that. Like, we celebrate everything.
Well, that's like, you guys made a festival believer out of me because I'm not like a festival gal. And like, I can party, right? But like, I'm not, and this is like, it's like elevated, it's fun, but it's like, it's just enough of a blend. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, we really want to bring every walk of life person together.
What do you, again, back to my original thing, like, notice about the vibe or dynamics between men and women here? Or, like, it, you know what I mean? Because I feel like in real life, it's gotten so awkward where, like, we don't know how to interact with one another, right? Even the guy being, like, complimenting me and being like, can I say that, right?
You know, I haven't really experienced anything like that. I think he was just being respectful, which I think is really great.
No, it's sweet.
Which is kind of sweet and endearing about him. But what I found is like everybody here is so nice and so open and so like genuinely authentic. Nobody has ego.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, number one, this is the lastly for you. Like, what's like a cliche or like a thing about festival culture that you're like, oh, try to avoid with this? And also, it kind of like it goes on to what we were saying earlier about like image and especially women and IG. Like, I don't know, how do you balance in your head? You have this whole festival, but you know also like festival culture creates that like FOMO on Instagram with the perfectly curated, the Coachella, right? Like, and this is the Coachella of wine. But like, it makes people feel like, well, shit, I'm missing out, and everyone has their perfectly filtered outfits and bodies and photos. Like, how do you see it as someone who's in it, but can see it from the outside, you know?
Listen, I mean, I could post a picture like of myself eating a hamburger, and somebody's gonna have FOMO. I think that's just an unfortunate culture that has been curated over the last 5-10 years with social media and reality TV. And I don't really think that that's anything that we can really try to contend with. I don't think that's really anything that we're trying to live up to, if that makes sense. So I think if you want to not have that FOMO, just kind of come experience it for yourself, right? Because this is such a warm and inviting atmosphere, and it's not even really about that, you know. I don't know.
It is true.
It's-
Like I said,
it's
you guys made a festival believer out of me. I was shaking my ass to Lil Jon in the front row, loving every minute, and sitting on a stranger's shoulder. So there you go.
I
Case
was
in point.
I was down in the in the front photo pit watching Little John, and I literally had the hugest smile on my face. Because like we pulled this together despite the rain and everything else.
Yeah.
But just to look over this crowd and the sea of people, and just seeing everybody have such a good time, it was such a good feeling.
That's a
And
thing.
it was like you see every color, every socioeconomic person, status in that crowd, right? Young, rich, fat, young, old, blah blah blah, blah, yellow, black,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's the
Everyone's having a good
ultimate.
time.
Everything now is like so political, this, that, the other thing, and it's like I was thinking about it last night actually with Lil Jon. It's like the ultimate unifier, and even like what I was saying earlier, like with men and women, how it's become so awkward now in so many ways. It's so iconic because Lil Jon's like, yeah, ho, bend over to the front and touch your toes, and no one's upset or offended. We're all like, yeah, right?
Right, yeah.
Like he's been grandfathered in, and we're loving every minute of it. Like,
Yeah, I guess he hasn't he?
Right? Well, I think we need to bring some of that vibe back. I don't know. Maybe we're past it. I don't know. Some of that fun little.
I mean, it's so difficult. Like, I mean, I try not to pay too much into that, to pay attention to too much of that. But I mean, I know people are changing like the lyrics to their songs that have been out for 20 years, and this and that. And I actually watched
Ridiculous.
I watched an interview. I think it was Joe Rogan and Snoop Dogg, but I could be wrong. But I think it was Snoop Dogg, and somebody was interviewing him and asking him. He's like, "Joe, like, do you regret saying all like objectifying women
Probably. Yeah.
back in the day?" And he was like, "Oh heck no, I'm being politically correct with my language, right?" He was like, "Oh hell no, blah blah blah." He's
At least you can acknowledge and own it.
yeah. And he was like, "No, that's who I am. That's who I was then. That's who I am now. I'm not going to try to like be all PC about it." And whether that's right or wrong to you or to me, it's completely different. I appreciated the authenticity of it,
Totally.
right? And that's all I got to say about that.
God, so well said. Okay. I love that. No, I completely agree with you. I love that. It's like just owning it. I always say that on my show. It's like just about owning it. We don't have to act like, oh, I was such a bad person back then. And I love that it's like, yeah, that's who I was. And maybe I do or don't believe in it still, but like Godspeed and fuck it, take it or leave it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I love it. Well,
I mean, you're going to offend somebody no matter how politically correct you are, no matter how beautiful you package your words or anything you do, you're going to offend somebody. So just be authentic in whatever you do.
well, the one thing that won't offend anybody is your hair so perfectly coiffed. No.
Hold on.
Oh, and I got your left side. I did not do your left side dirty. Okay. Matthew Loren, thank you. My favorite Israeli Egyptian on the planet. Chin Chin.
Good chin.
Such a great time. Appreciate it. Blended, baby.
Blended.
All right, everybody. I am here with Erin Cooper, and we were just talking. She's just getting introduced to Selfie Stick interview life, and we were saying how we look like the witches of Eastwick, basically, before this. Like,
Yes.
we just look really special.
Well, the humidity of Nashville and the rain prior doesn't help with that, but you look absolutely stunning with your party
Thank
pony.
you, my friend. You know what, Erin? Let's give them the whole. So there. So Erin here is a host, Top 40 radio station here on the ground in Nashville, Hot 106.7.
Absolutely.
Yes, girl. Okay, and can I just say, like, I keep it real on my show, otherwise cancel me, right? That's the point. I came from LA, and I just feel like, not to be cheesy, rah, bra burning, whatever, but I feel like the camaraderie here with women is so real. Like, this one welcomed me with open arms right away, and it's so refreshing, right? Because women can be so competitive.
Well, as broadcasters in specifically entertainment, it is cutthroat as everybody says, but I've been very lucky where my mentors and everything, men, women, have been very welcoming and have always wanted to help. And so when you reached out and were so kind, I'm like, yay, another friend and another woman that we can stick together with and just build each other up. And that's all I ever want to do.
And the thing is, like, with journalism, with media, we're going to talk about influencer life, right? Because we are in, like, an epicenter. It's like, people get so competitive, but there's enough to go around, right?
I interviewed Zach Hansen of the band Hanson a few months ago, and I'm going somewhere with this.
Yes.
I know it's a very obscure band, but they're my favorite. And Zach put it so beautifully where he said, it's now a matter of, are we creating a space or are we taking up space with what we are offering? And what I feel like with what you create and what anyone who wants to create, if you are creating a welcoming, positive space for people, there's room for you. What there's not room for is people wanting to tear other people down and wanting to be like overly competitive. Oh my gosh, my earring like just fell out of my ear. People being overly competitive or being negative. I don't have time for that. I want that. And so I welcome anyone who wants to be creative and spread happiness.
I love it. Real ass bitch, because I call a lot of times, like I said, there's this fake, like, sort of like women, support women up. And I have to tell you, like, I've had women bosses in this business, and I feel like I talk about this with people even not in media. They're like, look at her eyes are bulging out of her head.
So real right now,
Girl. And they will, like, tear you down and give you shit more than, like, sometimes your male counterparts. And it's like, where's the lie? Where is the lie?
Where is it?
So I appreciate you for actually walking the walk. I can attest to that. This is a real one. So let's talk about influencer culture, shall we? Because we are here, and it is an influencer moment, like with all the activations and stuff. Now, I noticed that, I don't know if they have it this year, but last year they had a Mental Health Matters booth.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, it was so interesting because I feel like what a dichotomy, because I feel like festivals like this are really like a liberation, like free moment for people to just be. However, it is ripe for like FOMO culture on Instagram. Look, I'm living my best life, and people feel like crap.
That, first of all, you're so articulate, and I love that. You are so intelligent. I love talking to you. Second of all,
I love how also you talk with your hands. I'm like, I'm understanding this to it. Are you Italian?
No, everyone thinks.
Okay, because you're my blood sister from another mister.
I talk with my hand. I do this a lot.
My family's off the boat, so like, thank you for understanding my life.
But it's very kind of I don't want to say counterintuitive, but it's kind of like an oxymoron where, yes, social media is the highlight reel, literally the highlight reel of people's lives. You don't know about the dark, terrible, crying in the corner bad days. And I'm so happy that there was a mental health resource here previously. There could be one here today. We haven't explored enough. But I also, Nashville is also the city for FOMO, because Nashville, there are 18 different things. Like, there's another wine festival, literally another wine festival going on right now in this city today. And it is so hard because you want to do it all at once. And it's very, like, deteriorating because you're like, I can't do it all. But
well, especially like,
hang up.
especially like, this is deemed the Coachella of wine. And I'm not even like on the real, I'm not even like a festival kind of gal. Like, I'm here to work. I'm not one to like get in the mosh pit. I'm like, my bubble bath is waiting for me. But like, exactly. But even when I was in LA and I would see all the like pretty filtered Coachella photos, there's a part of you that's like, shh, am I like living my life right? And you feel like, you can't help but let it.
I mean, exactly. And obviously there's so much fakeness and facade that goes into social media. I mean, of course, like I said, it's a highlight reel. Like, I don't, if I have a mental breakdown, I'm not going to live stream it, right? So not everything is, hunky-dory all the time, but I try to keep it real as much as I can. Like, I don't edit my pictures. I'm the same way. So I'm like, okay, oh, my friend Cisco is here. Hi.
Hi, Cisco. Hi, Not to be confused with the thong song. Cisco, okay?
Cisco is DJing tonight. He's also a Nashville native. He's a lovely friend.
Oh, nice.
But yes, an example of keeping it real. Cisco's very real.
I love that.
So,
Erin, what do you think of young girls being influenced? Like, this is twofold, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
Number one, like, women, I feel like out-competing one another yet again, but on Instagram to, like, I feel like, again, there's this false narrative that's like, we have to be hot for men, but I feel like women are the ones like setting the standard and competing against themselves and other women to be hotter, to be filtered. And young girls, like, I don't know if you know this, in 2018, 1/4 of cosmetic surgeries was girls 12 to 17, right? Because of all this. So what do you make of all of it on the whole?
I would say there's a difference between competing and then working hard and being your own competitor. And so I have had this just way that I am, I guess, where I am competitive, but not in like I have to be better than this person. I am my own worst critic, and I'm like, how can I make myself better? And I love criticism, and I love feedback. So even in a broadcast sense, if I've had people tell me, okay, try saying it this way, or, maybe try wearing this or whatever. I don't have to do it, but sometimes I'm like, okay, well, I want to make myself better, so I'll give it a shot, and I'll see what happens.
Erin, thank you so much, my little cupcake.
Can I give you a hug?
Absolutely. Yay. Thank you so much. I will turn this off. Giving women in broadcasting in Nashville, all of it a good name.
And it's such an honor to be on your show. I love seeing you do your own thing. We love MMJs like yourself out here doing it. So thank you for doing what you do.
If I always say, like, if someone isn't going to hand you the opportunity, you got to just carve it and do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Period. That's the only way. All right, everybody. We are here with Michael. Michael, what is your last name?
McCray. What's up, guys?
Oh, he's ready for it. He's here. Do you know why? Because we have a little TikTok star.
Tickety hot, tickety hot.
Influencer star, safe to say.
I don't know if star is the word yet. I'm only the amount of followers that you would find for a girl who puts up bikini videos. So at 250,000. I'm not at the 500,000 yet, but I would say influencer, maybe not star yet, but.
It's funny you say that because I was just having a conversation with these gals who are wine entrepreneurs here, right? And we were talking about being women and entrepreneurs and business, and I was saying how I hate the victim mentality women have of like, we can't get ahead in business, and you just brought up a really great point, Michael, that, throw up a bikini pic and there you go. We men just can't compete. So,
I'm just keeping it real. But having said that, there are a lot of incredibly intelligent women that are on there for much more productive purposes, and those obviously have high numbers too. I'm just saying, for a guy to be on there, I'm in my mid to late 40s, and what I have, I feel like, it's kind of like, it feels like I have 500,000, even though I've only got half. So there you go.
So it's safe to say, are all men a bunch of like haters out there because it's like we can't compete with women, so we're gonna put them down because how do we compete with that ass and those tits and all of that? Like, how do we compete, right? Or it's like spread the love, spread the love.
I'm definitely spreading the love. I'm a fan. I don't want to go into that, but I like.
He's like, I'm an only fan, if you know what I mean.
No, I'm not saying that. I like a little junk in the trunk, but I'm just saying, like, it feels good to be putting out content that people resonate with. I do a lot of singing in various public situations. I sing in Kroger's. I sing at the laundromat. You never know where you might find me hitting a note. So
in Kroger. Oh, Mr. Popular.
Hi, guys.
We're just talking about girls in bikinis. Don't mind us. So, really quick, last pin on that thought, because this is something that I grapple with on my show often, even as a woman who's been in Playboy, over this like very concept, like intelligence and body together.
Got it.
I still sometimes feel like, how do I compete with that? Like, right? Like, but is it just something where at the end of the day, sex sells, baby? Like, it's men, women, like, right?
It's always been around since the beginning of time.
Exactly.
But I think when you talk about competing with anyone, it should only be with yourself. Be the best version of yourself. It sounds cliche to say, but I feel like, you have so many incredible natural gifts and intuition, and you're a well-spoken person. You're a beautiful girl. Wait, were you in Playboy for real, or what were you?
For real, baby.
Oh, shit.
I think I'm the only person, not to brag on myself, who actually was in a pictorial and wrote in the same issue over this very idea, right, of women being both things, all things. So
listen,
that's no joke.
Everyone knows that women hold the power. I don't care what James Brown sings about. I don't care, we know what's good. We know what's up.
So real talk, because you've been in entertainment now, that like this guy, he's talking about his friends, like, on One Tree Hill, Ryan Cabrera was his roommate. Like, let's not forget a Ryan moment, right? Because he was also in LA for a while. This is why what you're saying, like, women have power. You know how in Hollywood they love, like, oh, the male gaze, smash the patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. And in the end, I'm like, male gaze, it's like, because we're hot. What do you want from us? Like, male schmaze, like, what? Who cares, right?
There should be nothing wrong with that at all. Since the end of time, this is the beginning of time, men are always going to be fixated on beautiful things. And at the end of the day, we celebrate it. If not for that, what would we be working for? You know what I mean?
So I actually,
inspire us. There it is.
it's funny you say that because I actually had Joe Francis on my show recently. Do you know who that is? The guy who created Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah, I've heard of him, yes.
Okay.
Very controversial.
He is very controversial.
And very rich.
Yes. And it's just spread of the wealth, Joe, okay?
Help us out, Joe.
And he came on my show because he went viral because a photo of him he posted checking out Kylie Jenner's butt.
Oh,
and
God.
and he said like the same thing as you, which is like, we're gonna do that. Like, we're checking out a girl, who cares? Like, that's what guys do.
Well, I don't necessarily mean that we have the right to make someone feel uncomfortable. I'm not
There's a
saying
line,
that.
100.
Absolutely, and I've never been one of those dudes in the first place. But having said that, yeah, I think that naturally, same way. But women are not too indifferent than that. Women, if they see a good-looking guy, they're gonna check him out. They're gonna nudge their girl, and they might even follow the guy and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna do that thing. I'm gonna try to get their number. I'm gonna flirt. I'm gonna drop something so he can help me pick it up, and I'll be a damsel in distress." You never know.
We check the bulge out, and I don't care who knows it. I love nothing more than twisting my head like
By the
Beetlejuice.
way,
A full.
check mine out. There's a huge hole. Take a look.
Oh, I'm sure that's
There's
why.
a hole in the middle of the pants, right there in the crotch. Take a look. You gotta have easy access, guys.
Wow, he is actually really ready to go.
It's just about being
That's special.
breathability.
I'm all about the comfort, so maybe, but it can never go both ways. Like, what if a woman wet with, like, just holes in her nipple, right? That would be an interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Guys would lose their
Yeah,
mind,
yeah.
case in point. So let's get to influencer life, okay?
Yeah.
Or TikTok star life,
Yeah.
because when you came up to me in the handy dandy tent behind us, you
Yeah.
were like, listen, like, I'm on TikTok. I'm going to be real, as we do, and we've been keeping it 100.
Yeah. Well, Matthew sent me over here, Matthew Loren, so there you go. Lauren, I don't know if you know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, Matthew Lauren. He's the influencer, like wine. What do you say? Like organizer of all this event.
In all this.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. He's like the heartbeat of this festival.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I'll knock as many the TikTok star.
What do you mean? Can you be more specific?
Yeah, I'll be like, because kids now I feel like aspire to be that. And I'm like, go get a skill. Go get a hobby. Go be a lawyer. Go be a doctor or a journalist,
Well,
right?
Okay, great point. But here's the deal.
Yeah.
I found myself singing my original songs in my living room, and I was getting like 200-300 likes. As soon as I stepped out of that box and started like singing to people and spreading joy and excitement and fun in the middle of a random like grocery store and singing like soulful songs that people had known for years, boom, I got 4 million hits, 5 million hits. It's just, for whatever reason, people love to see that. And I'm actually not doing it in a way of like, hey, I want to be a TikTok star. I just want to be able to leverage my talent that I've always tried to share with the world. So I feel like as long as you're doing authentically that gift that God gave you and that he instilled in you, I think you're doing the right thing.
So, Michael, can you hold this like a chivalrous gentleman you are? Thank you, because I've gotten quite the workout. We're going to wrap this soon. But, that's much better. Wow.
Beautiful eyes. I don't know if y'all saw
Oh,
this.
I mean, geez. I only paid him like $5 to say that, okay? It was cheap. Don't worry. So, with that being said, what do you make of, because you're like, I have soulful, it's what I do, it's my craft, which, by the way, singing in a Kroger, is that do you just pop up and sing in a Kroger? Because I like that. Obviously, I pop up and do my thing everywhere in a way no one else does. So, do you really?
I don't necessarily plan it out. It can look a little staged sometimes. Generally, what I'll do is just ask the shopper that I randomly meet in 5 seconds, hey, do you mind if I come up and pretend like, I just sang to you? That's about all I'll do. We don't rehearse it. It's not like staged like that. But having said that, it definitely like takes people out of their element and gives them a chance to, just forget about like the stresses of life for a minute.
Nice.
Who cares if you're getting mac and cheese that's Kroger brand or Kraft? Just let me sing you a song real quick.
That's interesting. Very out of the box.
When I look at some of the country stars and I see Brett Eldridge has only got like 315,000, I'm like, he's a huge country star. I'm like, all I gotta do is sing in a few more Krogers and boom, I'm surpassed him.
But you know what, Michael? I feel like that says so much about internet culture, because I think this all the time. I'll compare myself, like, again, it's that competing thing, right? It's like, okay, this influencer who does I don't know what has 3 million followers. Meanwhile, Stevie Nicks, my idol, has like 3, including my aunt, right? It's like, so
Yeah,
you
just
can't really, but now we associate someone's like life accomplishment and work to like a blue check or a number, and I think that's sad.
And there's Matthew right there. I think what it really does, if we're being honest, is it levels the playing field because it takes away brand marketing. It takes away the push of the machine. And it says, what truly grabs my attention, irregardless of star power or whatever, as I'm scrolling through, what actually grabs my attention. And it turns out that the girl who's baking cookies might be more interesting than Tim McGraw. You know what I mean? Like singing or talking about his kids. I love Tim McGraw. I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, the cream rises to the top. And I think TikTok, as cheesy as it sounds, gives that platform for people to say, hey, what are people really caring about? What's resonating with different age groups and different demographics?
Well, it's a shit show because now there are no gatekeepers and it's so oversaturated, and how do you cut through the noise, right? It's like a different kind. And I'm just going to end this by saying, like, even as we're doing this interview, notice how hot, like, all these girls here look, like, in the tight little, you know, we got the onesies, we got the denim, we got the whole thing. So all I'm saying is, like, the ass and tits are out. And girls, don't try to act like you're not trying to be checked out, like what we were talking about. Because you know what? Let them look, sweetie, and eat your heart out, right? Even if it's Michael here with his White Claw.
I have to be careful. I mean, I'm a few years older than most of these people here. I don't necessarily see myself that way. The entertainment business does keep you young. But having said all that, let's just see how this incredible blended festival goes. I'm so glad I met the amazing Taylor.
Oh,
and there's Matthew right there.
It's mutual, chin chin. Although I don't have a drink, I'm boring.
Oh, well, you look amazing.
Cheers. Oh, thank you. So do you. You and your whole. Okay, let's one for the. We really. Wow. Who could forget? If this isn't MILF, if this isn't Nashville, let me explain why. The bedazzled boots, like we got the jacket. Nothing is, bitch. I'm with Jody Sullivan. Jody is an influencer of all influencers, but you're special. You're not like the others. You're not like the others. We're gonna talk about it because you know, Jody, I just came here from LA and I was a red carpet reporter, and I've been in the influencer epicenter, girl. So we're gonna talk about that. But tell people your following, right? What you do, and that special honor you have, the top influencer to work with. Tell us the sitch.
So I've been in this industry for about 7 to 10 years, and I was nominated for Influencer of the Year for 2021.
I just want to tell the people, like, all of a sudden you got all shy. She came over to my booth, like, tits and jacket swinging, and all of a sudden she's, like, so all modest. Like, she's like, so here's just a little bit about me. So here's the thing, Jody, okay? Because sometimes, given my work, you know, in LA and entertainment journalism, sometimes I give influencers a little bit of shit. You know what I mean?
Right. And
she's like, right.
So.
Okay, because
I get it.
I did an episode on Revolve Fest. Remember that, when they were all losing their minds?
And it's sad. Because, like, you're losing your mind because you're hot and you're sweating.
Period. And I was like, that's basically what my episode was. And I was like, influencers are going to come and literally rip me out of influencer, like, purgatory. And so many of them reach me being like, girl, bullseye, spot on. Right? Why is that? Like, isn't there an entitlement with the influencer culture? You're not that, though. Like, this bitch, I just want to say, like, you were named influencer to work with, like, for a reason. She's so on it. She texted me back right away, like, professional. So you're not that.
I have worked in the influencer industry 360. So I've been on the business side. I've been on, you know, the actual influencer side. And I've also been on the management side. That's why no one deserves to ever have an entitlement for where they are in life. It's all like hard work and dedication.
I feel torn about it because it's like, I'm not going to knock it because it's like a hustle. It's a business, right? But you're a mom. I feel conflicted because we hear young kids all the time now be like, I want to be an influencer. And it's like, but what about doctors and lawyers and astronauts and right?
Exactly. Me becoming an influencer was at my hardest moments as like me being a mom. I had 30 surgeries before I was even 30 years old, and I was chronically ill, and I was determined to overcome that, but I had had a job since I was 15 years old.
You're a hustler. I'm the same way. I respect
that. Like inside me, I can't not be working. So me becoming an influencer started as me having an e-commerce website.
Business.
Yes, I analyzed everything and I watched charts and the data. I want my kids to know that there's more out there. And yes, they say they want to be creators and influencers, but it's because I am a creator.
I mean, but look at like on the flip side, look at like the Mariana Hewitts who go on to like build empires. Like that shit is impressive.
Exactly, and I want them to know the value of helping others, and it's not about fame, it's about being someone of authority and pushing what you truly believe in.
So when you see influencers, like again, I've seen them, and I've been on the other end of it too, where it's like you get gifts and wine and dine, and then they complain. Do you feel like they'll complain if they have a hangnail that's going the wrong way at an event, right? Are you thinking like, man, they're giving us a bad name? Like, stop.
I do feel that way. I do, 100%. But I think it's because their parents are not teaching them how.
Oh, Michael for the rescue.
Thank you.
Thank you, kind sir.
I think because it's their parents not teaching them from the beginning how to work hard for what you want and that you can overcome anything. They're just handed things. But that's also a double standard. I don't believe everyone is that way, but I think that some people get a taste of being successful and then they automatically think it's cool to be that way. And it's not cool, you know?
So what do you make, and I talked a little bit about this with Michael, who's being the kind Samaritan here and so selflessly holding the selfie stick. Like, what chivalry exists, okay? What do you make of, like, the over-filtered plastic surgeries, now, like, young girls wanting to do it, and, like, but, like, it's a stigma, but
that
it's
breaks
not.
my heart because I have a daughter. I have 2 daughters.
Do you see them affected by it, or are they too young?
I don't want them to think that you have to be a certain way, but I also want them to feel comfortable in their bodies. And if they truly want to have plastic surgery when they're 18 years old, that's their decision.
And she's like, they're 18 in a day. That's how I'm going to be as a mom.
Like, if you are of age, I'm all for it. I want you to feel beautiful in your body no matter what decisions you make, and it's not my choice to judge you, and I want them to feel that way too, that you can't judge other people because of the decisions they make.
But as a mom, how do you, like, they're going to be on Instagram, they're going to see all these influencers, they're going to see the Kylie Jenners with the lips. How do you, like, prevent that and intervene without them it being in their head all the time?
Because if you're a good parent, then you're teaching them to be confident in their own skin on a daily basis, and you are there every day.
Let me ask you this, Jody, because I often grapple with, like, I want women to be empowered. A lot of Instagram influencers, like Michael and I talked about this, like the bikini model, right? Like the whole thing. Jody's eyes. Right, exactly. Jody's like, what do you mean? You mean my calling? Yeah, exactly. Also the camera work. The camera work. I want to empower people and women, right? But does it ever go too far on IG with the filters, the sex, the plastic surgery, the trying? Okay, talk to me about that.
I mean, I do feel like there is a stigma, and it's even starting at a younger age. Like, little girls don't need to be having crop tops, and no matter what age you are. I mean, I'm wearing this, I know.
We're grown women.
But we're grown women who are making our own decisions. Yes. But do I feel like my 9-year-old needs to be
absolutely not
in a crop top? No, but it's so sad because it's hard to find things of quality that aren't like that. And she's like, why can't I wear that? And I'm like, well, because it's not appropriate.
I want to thank you, Jody, for giving influencers a good name. You're a hustler, go-getter. So everything I'm about. Thank you
love
so
it.
Much.
You are so welcome.
Share your opinions,
awesome.
girl. Oh my. All right, giddy up and yeehaw, bitches, because I have such a treat for you, okay? And my slick back Morgan Wallen mullet is made up by this beauty. I'm with Brittney Moya. We have a lot to discuss here at Blended Festival, okay? She is a woman entrepreneur. We love to see it, okay? She has her own line, Rock Me Up Cosmetics.
And the bitch is born and bred in LA.
LA, baby.
So you know she has seen some shit.
Oh, I've been in it.
Okay,
Yes.
like where do we even start? Where do we even start? You were invited here as like an influencer, right? You're a beauty influencer.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay, talk to me about this obsession with how we look on IG. We all know about it, right?
Yeah.
And my worry is how it's like affecting young girls and how they always have to feel like they have to look. Everybody,
Right.
like no matter the age, everyone feels like they have to look so perfect and filtered and curated.
Yeah,
Talk to me about it.
it's true. Okay, so my whole take on that is I personally believe that there should be like an age limit. Just like you have to be like 18 to buy cigarettes, I think you should be a certain age to be able to have an Instagram. That's just, I've always thought that from the day one when Instagram came out, I was like, this is not for children. Like, you have to be a mature person, developed in your brain, know who you are a little bit. Like, just like they wouldn't sell cigarettes or alcohol, I don't think they should be able to be on social media. I've always thought that. I don't know how I could advocate for that. Like, hey, can I be the person who makes the law against children having an Instagram and
That's
TikTok?
a good point.
But beyond that, like, yes, beauty is important. Like, it's important for people to feel beautiful. But
And also, first impressions, even festival culture, right? Like,
Yeah.
she's got the gloss, she's got the hat, she's gone country, and she has the boots, okay? Like, I feel like this is a place where, with everything in life, like, first impressions and how we look, yes, how we feel, but it's like, it's
It is.
everything, the first thing we see.
it is, and it is everything. But I really, truly believe in, like, your true beauty when you're happy and you're living life. It truly is something that exudes from the inside out.
in your step.
Yeah, and so I feel like I wouldn't feel right producing a beauty line. I wouldn't feel right producing a makeup line or doing people's makeup if I wasn't able to bring out that true natural beauty within the person and bring it out of them. There's a lot of pressure with culture. There's a lot of pressure with the
Do you feel the
Instagram and
pressure, Brittney?
Absolutely.
When you see other girls, because here's the thing, okay?
I'm a grown adult. I mean, kind
We-
of an adult.
So she and I off air just now, we're talking, we both, like, we're part of the LA Exodus.
Yes.
And I talk about, like, how LA is woketopia and everybody, like, thinks the same. And I feel like a narrative, right, is how men and the male gaze and the patriarchy make women feel like they have to look a certain way. However, with this culture, I often feel like women, like, compete with each other and themselves. Like, I feel like the men are sitting back being like, okay, whereas women, like, we're on there scrolling being like, how do I
Right.
keep up? How do I, right?
Yeah, it's just the natural instinct of a woman. Like, obviously, God made us different. He made us to have longer hair, curves. Like, He made us to be beautiful. We were supposed to be attracted. Like, Adam was meant to be attracted to us. Like, he was. But
You can't fight that shit. Adam and Eve, baby.
no, you
Back to the
can't. Like,
beginning.
let's just bring it back to the very beginning. Like, but
As I graze your boob.
Right,
Let's not
yes.
forget. As I motorboat, my microphone motorboats your tits.
But no, I think there is a lot of pressure. You got to set limits and boundaries to that shit. Like, just like everything in life.
You have an aesthetic. Like, you have a look. I talk about on my show often the idea of the marriage of beauty and how we look and what you're saying, how we present ourselves in our endeavors, our brain, our goals, right?
Yeah.
Do you get, because you're a businesswoman, we're going to talk about your entrepreneurial endeavors.
Okay.
Do people judge you? And like how do we take her seriously? She's got like the lashes and the tits and the tan and the gloss. Like, how is she? She's not, how is she smart? How is she a businesswoman? I know for me, people are like, oh, look it. She's a perky, big tip, blonde, bubbly. And then they like hear what I'm about in my work and they're like, oh shit. And it's fun for
And
me
they're
to
shook.
surprise people.
Yeah,
Right? They're
surprise.
shook. Yeah, it's like a Jack in the Box
Right.
surprise, bitch.
Yeah,
So talk about that experience for you. Do you experience that?
Oh.
What that's like?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, it's really tough. Like, but you just, again, you have to be true to you. That's all you can do. You can people please all you want, but you got to be true to yourself. I mean, I don't even think people look at me like that. I don't think that that's how people portray me at all. But if you're saying that, I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm pretty of this and that. You know, but I don't see myself as that. I just see myself as a hardworking person who came from LA that had a dream and is pursuing it here in Nashville. That's all I see myself as.
So wait, when you have the gloss and the lashes, like you look gorgeous, you don't see yourself like you just said. I don't see myself
I
as that.
honestly don't.
What?
I think, like, you and I are the same. Like, we're in the same playing field. Me and all the women. Like,
me and all women in general, we're all equal, like, to that.
The idea of like women for festivals like this, like in their best outfits, like tits out, the whole thing, like. And I talk about how there's something primal. Exactly. There's something primal.
I really was not trying to put my tits
No,
out.
they're just like, let them live. I'm not even wearing a bra, so mine are just doing what they want to do, you know? They're just here for the natural glory.
Habitat.
Their natural habitat.
They're just in their natural habitat.
Taking them out of the cave. There's something primal, I think, about an environment like this where it's like people can just be and like wear what they want to wear. We were talking about like first impressions, right?
Welcome to Nashville.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Now, though, when, say a guy's like checking you out because you got it going on.
Okay.
How does it make you feel? Does it offend you? Or are you like, yeah, sweetheart, eat your heart out?
Right. I'm like the lamest person when it comes to relationships. I'm obviously single, so that should tell you right there.
She's like, void.
But I'm like, no, just kidding. No, but like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, anyone out there? No, just kidding. But like, I don't pay attention. Like, I've had friends like, oh my gosh, Brittney, that guy, he was like super into you. And I'm like, what guy?
With influencer culture, with TikTok culture, we are in the mind clusterfuck that like you can get success overnight. And people don't realize how hard this shit is. The sacrifices. Like, I've been at this almost a decade.
Same.
Okay.
Same with me.
So what is it that people like, the nitty gritty, the blood, sweat, and tears that people don't necessarily know? That goes into being an entrepreneur.
Okay, great question, Taylor, because I've been doing this for over a decade, you know, doing hair and makeup, you know, having a line, producing a makeup brand that I want to get out there. And it's taken over a decade just to get it out there. And it's like the failure is real. The rejection is real. You know, and then there's so many brands out there. Like my market, especially with makeup, like go to Ulta, go to Sephora, there's thousands and thousands of brands that you could choose from that are all amazing. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is mine going to be different? How am I going to be set apart in this business, in this industry? But I stayed true to what I believe in. I stayed true to the brand. I stayed true. Like, I know this product works. I know it's legit. And I know it will go somewhere. And if it doesn't, hey, I invented a product and I like to use it. So there's that.
I love
you know
it.
what I mean?
This is a theme today, like with the wine vendors, even like with my show and what I do. It's like you exactly. You do your thing and you'll find your people because you can't appease everybody.
You can't, and there's so much competition. But I have a very, very exciting announcement.
What is it, Brittney?
I didn't get to tell you. But my makeup brand is now going to be featured at the W Hotel in Nashville. It's going to have a storefront at the shop. So if you guys are in the Gulch or in downtown Nash, go to the W Hotel, and my product will be retailed at the W and at the shop. So
I will be there. Let us know how we can support you.
We're gonna have a launch party. So I would love to invite you. I'd love to have you. So I'm so excited.
Congratulations. I love to see it. Like,
so
again, there's room. There's a seat for all of us. There's room for all of us. And I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes.
It's just a beginning.
Yeah.
And when I become the next Bill Maher, Oprah, will you do my makeup, please? It's here on the camera, so.
I'm going to announce in front of everyone, I would love to do your makeup. Like, please let me. It'd be an honor. I'd be honored. I truly would be honored. So thank you.
Yeah, cleaning up this really special situation. This Morgan Wallen
situation.
Raphael,
but we're kind of here for
mullet.
it. Low key, we're kind of here for it.
No, actually.
I mean, why did we come to Nashville?
And just like that, it started raining. So before we have a wet t-shirt contest on the edge of your seat, wink, wink. Thank you, Brittney
You're
Moya.
welcome. It was my pleasure.
So there you have it, folks. Here we are back on my mountaintop in my kitchen. Indeed. Thank you for joining me in my little adventure on the ground at Blended Festival. I mean, what better way, right? Like, you guys know how much I talk about influencer, IG culture, filters, images, all of it. And how could I not bring it to a festival itself? I mean, Buzzkill, I beg to differ, of all the places to bring it, maybe not, but I feel like it was appropriate and I love how real everybody got with it. So I hope that you guys took something from it. Definitely with some straight up talk. So with that said, there's going to be much more. We have been here for like 2 milliseconds. Okay. And cancel me, baby. We are making our presence known here in Music City. I will see you guys for the next one, hopefully out of my pantry. I will see you then.